All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation. Hello and welcome to Red Star Raceway for round 4 action of the 2020 Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. We've crossed the Boerewors curtain from Swartkops and we are here at Red Star Raceway out in Delmas. As you can see, all the riders are in pit lane. Great to see a couple of family members allowed in. No spectators still allowed due to the COVID pandemic. One man who's come all the way from Durban is Sanjeev Singh. He took a year off racing, but great to have him back.
Red Star, it's always great to race here. It's a fantastic facility and the hospitality is awesome. It's probably the most challenging and technical track in the country. 13 corners and really difficult to go quickly around here. You've got to be smooth, your bike's got to be set up with a front end that works. Yesterday the bike was good. I'm looking forward to race 1 and race 2 this afternoon. The bike's feeling great. Thanks to Double Apex and MSC for sponsoring me and helping me set the bike up. So let's see how the race goes this afternoon.
It really is great to have Sanjeev back in the pits. You can see those Bridgestone tyres, new and used, getting fitted. The Agliotti brothers, last time out at Swartkops, had a terrible running. Let's catch up with Keith.
Definitely, we had fuel pumps failing and turned out that we put in petrol at the wrong petrol station. So we learned a bit of a lesson. Don't change any habits and rather go to the petrol stations you used to.
Subsequently, your brother has had a bit of a disaster insofar as his bike actually engine blew and took his leg. Part of his leg off.
It was a little bit of a freak accident. The flywheel disintegrated under acceleration at about 13,000 RPM and shot fragments into his leg. So it severed the tendon and damaged the muscle quite badly. So he'll be out for the rest of the season, unfortunately.
Red Star, just take us through how you approach your race here.
Well, this is my brother and I. We like this place. So unfortunately with him he can't be. I'm always trying to follow him and I've got to do it on my own now, so it's a bit strange. We enjoy the track. It's very physical, battling with arm pumps. So if I can get that right, I think I'll do well in the longer laps.
A big contender here at Red Star Raceway will be Gareth Bazan. Note, last time out at Swartkops had up and downs.
Race 1, same old story. The start let me down and I went backwards a bit. I got stuck in a bit of traffic and Graham and the other guys got away from me. But second race I got a good start. Held station in second just behind Graham. And I managed to keep his pace all the way right through to the end. I just couldn't get close enough to him to actually try and make a pass. He was carrying good corner speed and he was better in some areas than I was, and I was better in some areas than he was. So it was a bit of a yo-yo effect. But it was a great race. I enjoyed it and it felt good to be coming back strong again because I've been struggling a little bit lately.
And how do you go at Red Star? How's this for you?
Well, this is supposed to be kind of like a home track for me, but I don't know what's going on today. The times aren't coming. The bike setup feels okay. Nothing feels wrong with the bike, but it's just not reflecting in the times. So we're going to push on and try Q2 and Q3, and hopefully we can put some kind of decent lap together. But at the moment, we're sitting on a back foot right now. But we'll give it a go.
Join us after the break for Race 1 action of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. Welcome back to what is now becoming a very windy and tricky Red Star Raceway out in Delmas. It's round 4 action of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. And the riders are not that lighty out there. He's not going to be heading out on track, but the elder statesman in South African motorsport racing. One of the stalwart classes in two-wheeled motorcycle racing in South Africa are getting themselves ready. Those Bridgestone tyres are fitted. Teddy Brook, watch out for him. He normally goes really well around this tricky 4.2k circuit. All the way from Cape Town, Jacques Ackerman just getting some final little details there before they head out on track further down. Watch out for Nigel Brunt, the big Yeti man himself, as we head now to the grid for the start of race 1. Joining me as always is Dave Peterson as we go on board here with Heng Scaling as they line up on the grid. Dave, a couple of factors thrown in here, especially the wind and your number one plate man, Graham from Idar. That man second on the grid, hates this place.
Graham from Idar, for some reason, Rob, does not enjoy the Red Star Raceway. It just doesn't suit his style of riding for some reason. But I think today he's going to put that one straight. Second on the grid, waiting for those red lights to go off. Who gets the whole shot down into turn 1? Great start from Van Idar. Stefan Udi Stocks out front straight away. He's just about wrapped up the championship, and I think today he's got that on his mind.
Yeah, he can do that. Michael Schmidt tucks in there in second place. Apana Ganapathy a little bit further down. Didn't get the start that he wanted. Heng Scaling, he's got Sanjeev Singh on his inside. Good start there for Sanjeev. And look at Landy Sinden with Jacques Ackerman right on her tail, trying to make the move.
Heng Scaling not even using the brakes there. I think he's just cruising around. So now I've got to warm these tyres up before I really try really hard. But a great shot of Landy Sinden, our lady rider. Oh! Yeah, cold tyre, I see that. A little bit out of the seat for Henk. He probably forgot to turn on the tyre warmers in the pit lane.
You've got to get heat into these Bridgestone tyres. Terrible start there from the pole position, man. Poseidonite in third place, and he's already losing track now onto the two out front. Johan Leroux right in the mix. John T. Collard also with a good start there up inside the top 5. But our two riders out front, Graham from Idar, who doesn't like this place, looks like he's getting on with it now. On the brakes, look at the time. Being closed up there from Johan Leroux.
Second place, Michael Smith. Look out for him today. He had that look in his eyes down in pit lane, Rob. And I'm inside Michael Smith. I think Graham from Idar, if he had rear view mirrors, he would be absolutely panicking right now because Michael Smith is all over him like a rash. The fastest part of the track as they come down into this final section before they climb up onto that back straight right next to the highway. On board again with Henk. Surprised his camera's quite clean right now. We can actually see out of that lens.
Even the tailpiece doesn't look too bad for a change there, but this is great shots. That's the dog bone section. That's where Graham from Idar really does struggle around the Red Star track. They open it now onto the highway straight for the first time. Gareth Bazano has closed that gap, and Michael Schmidt's going to be onto the brakes into the final chicane. Can't get it done there, but look how early from Idar is on the brake. Michael Schmidt just closes up there. From Idar not looking comfortable, hard under hard braking, and here comes Johan Leroux, John T. Collard, and look at Dave Enticott. We haven't even spoken about the man up inside that top 6.
Dave Enticott from Cape Town, first time ever at this track. And everybody knows when you come to Red Star, it's really tricky to just get in the groove around the track. It's not about learning the lines because there's only one line around this track, and that's just hug the inside through the corners. But Enticott has really shown us he can do this.
Yeah, it really is a tough track to get hold of. A lot of riders come here and they actually get seasickness from riding this track. That's how difficult it is. Michael Smith trying to go on the inside and Bazan not going around the outside. So at the moment, from Idar looks like he's just holding up the gap a bit. Keith Agliotti, I should say, out. No luck for the Ridgeway Race Bar rider as we go on board here with the Pandaganapathy. That is Keith just ahead of him, and you can see, he's cruising. He's cruising. There's problems there for that Red Square, that Ridgeway Race Bar sponsored machine. Unfortunately, the bad luck continues.
Yeah, the Agliotti's had a disaster, as you know, at Swartkopf's brother Jordan has got a lump of metal stuck in his leg. Well, that's been taken out, of course. So really disaster for those guys. But Michael Smith, look at this man. Michael Smith is absolutely flying around this track.
And look at that riding style. He's got that old Kevin Schwantz, lay the bike down. You'll know that's that riding style, Dave. That's what you guys did back in the day. Lay the bike in and get on the gas, and he's looking very comfortable at the moment. Dropping here is John T. Collard with Dave Enticott. So Collard not having the race meeting that he wanted. He's right up in the challenge for the top 4, top 3 in the championship. So he needs to get as many points. Look at Enticott all over the tailpipes of John T.
Great ride from Enticott. And just behind them, don't forget, we've got a Pandaganapathy having a massive dice with Teddy Brook. You could just see that in the background. From Idar, he'll just cruise around right now, Rob. Don't forget, he's got the championship on his mind. Michael Smith is not in the championship chase at the moment. He loves this track, clearly. Van Idar's pit crew, yes, telling him take a handful of throttle and take care of that guy up front. But I think Van Idar might be quite happy, to be honest, settle for second place.
I think he will. He really does hate this place. He'll tell you that to your face. And and to pick up second place, he'll be happy with that, although it is just closing. Looks quite good in this first section of the track, but like I said, the second part, from the dog bone onwards, Michael Smith really does extend that lead, and Van Breda's got to worry now, because the pole position, man, there he is, Bezanode a little bit wide there, but he's starting to come. There's that good battle for what is 4th and 5th between Jonty Collard and Dave Enticott, and there's a Panaganapathy a little bit further down, Teddy Brook just with him there, Sanjeev Singh not too far behind them, Henk Skelling and Landy Sinden just outside the top 10. Really good ride from the lady rider.
Right, Van Breda is lining him up down the short straight. He's going to come up here inside on the brakes. Looks a lot more confident this time around. Yes, Van Breda takes the lead, retakes the lead. Michael Smith, will he dive back underneath? He might just do that. No, Van Breda's got him covered. He knows what he's doing right now. Is he going to streak away from Michael Smith and make this his championship after all?
Yeah, looks like Van Breda doesn't want to wait till race number 2 to sew up this championship. He's trying to get it done here in race 1. But look, this is where he really does suffer. You can see Smith and Gareth Bezanode now. They really close onto the back end of that Stefanuri Stocks Kawasaki machine. And Van Breda, he really just has to try and cover that line coming onto the back straight. Michael Smith looks to have it on the brakes going into that final chicane. Van Breda, the nice wide swooping stuff there, just pulls a little bit of a gap. But coming onto the back straight, Michael Smith now closing that gap. Let's see if he can do anything on the brakes. But great to see Gareth Bezanode now closing a three-way fight for the win.
Gareth Bezanode got tremendous drive as they fly up that long straight, the Woodbank Highway, just on their left-hand side. That's where our camera is positioned right now. Michael Smith on the brakes is so good in that section. They're going to go right, left, and right down past the pit area. Van Breda, very tentative through there. I think he's just taking it easy. We've got the last lap coming in now. Is Michael Smith going to make a move? Because Van Breda hasn't streaked away like we predicted a few laps ago.
Michael Smith does look like he's got a much better setup under hard braking. That's going to play a huge role in this final lap. Van Breda, he's got the championship on his mind like you touched on. And will he just go defensive, or will he try and just extend that lead now? He's got Michael Smith and Gareth Bezanode right on his tail. We come into the tight and tricky left-hander that is turn 3. Gareth Bezanode is really trusting that front end, loving that Bridgestone R11 on the front end of his bike. Michael Smith gets good drive. Van Breda looks like he's extending that lead though, ever so slightly. Coming into the second part of this track, they're going to go down one of the short little straights into that 90-degree hairpin, and Michael Smith, he's got to be closer. I think his only chance is that final chicane.
He might be looking at, or even at the end of this short straight, but I don't think he's close enough right now. Graham Van Breda looks like he's got that covered as they go into this section. Just to mention further back, Landy Sinden, what a great ride. Head of Stewie Christie, the dog doctor, Ruana Walzer and Jacques Ackerman. She's ahead of all of them, Landy Sinden. Here we on board with Henk Skelling as we see Landy put that bike into that turn 4 left-hander.
Yeah, it's beautiful riding style there from Landy Sinden. She really is getting comfortable now on that ZX10 machine. Nigel Brunt a little bit further behind her. That is Stewie Christie, the dog doctor, just behind Henk Skelling there. So it's a good little battle going on there. Landy Sinden holding them off for now and could possibly find herself inside that top 10 as they come across the line the next time around.
Fantastic ride from our lady rider, and good to have her into the series. Oh, here we go. Down the one straight to go. It's about a kilometre to go to the finish of this race. The two riders behind Van Breda are looking for the slipstream. Bezanode has got a double slipstream as they come there. Van Breda's got his foot out as he puts on the brakes. Oh! Smith goes around the outside. Graham Van Breda was not happy on the brakes there for some reason.
He went very defensive there, Van Breda, leg out, trying to block the inside line, but Michael Smith comes around the outside. It's a drag race to the line. Michael Smith is going to pick up the win. Yes, he does. Ahead of Graham Van Breda, who will be kicking himself after that silly mistake. He went very defensive, but he opened the door up around the outside. Michael Smith very bravely took that, and look at that fastest lap of the race on the last lap there from Michael Smith. Now you can see he's doing a Mark Marquez celebration here. He is loving life at Red Star Raceway.
As we take a look at the official results then from race 1, Michael Smith from Graham Van Breda, then it's Gareth Bezanode, Johan Leroux, Jonty Collard, Dave Enticott, Panaganapathy, Teddy Brook, Sanjeev Singh and Henk Skelling. Your top 10 in that race. Let's catch up with our third placed rider, Gareth Bezanode.
Mikey got me on the inside going into turn 1. And Graham had a good launch, but it was an awesome battle between the three of us. I didn't manage to make any passes. They were just on top of each other. And I was hanging in there. And then I had a huge high side coming out onto the highway straight. So I lost about maybe a second on them. But I pulled it back, and they swapped positions once or twice more after that. And then on the last lap, last corner, I saw Mikey going up the inside of Graham. And Graham was quite early on the brakes, so I was actually going to try to go around the outside of him. But then I ended up on the dirty stuff from the cars, and that was game over. I just had to settle for P3.
Let's catch up then with second place man Graham Van Breda, who had his pocket picked by Michael Schmidt.
This is not my favourite place, but I gave it my all. But even on the warm-up lap, I felt there's a major front-end chatter on the thing. And we never went out in qualifying this morning. We put a brand new set of tyres on it. So I already knew on the warm-up lap, and I thought, well, we'll have to do whatever we can do with what we got.
Race 1 winner then, a very happy Michael Schmidt.
Saw it actually a bit earlier in the race. I saw it, and when I got to the lead, I thought to myself, no, don't tire yourself, because fitness is not actually 100%. So I backed it and I waited actually for him to come back in front. And I thought to that second last lap when he passed me, I thought to myself, now you stick to him, you know where you're going to take him. And I just stuck to my guns and I made it work. So yeah, I'm very happy. A win is always the best, so I'll take it anytime. Thanks for all my family, my son, all my pit crew and Team Fish Curry. This guys is all for you this year.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Red Star Raceway for race number 2 of round 4 of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. And if race 1 is anything to go by, we are in for another cracker here at race number 2. We are coming down to the final part of the season. Graham from Idar can wrap the title up here today if he gets inside that top 3 here in race number 2. Watch out for the likes of a Panaganapathy, Gareth Bazano looking in there. Henk Scaling, yeah, he's got those tyre warmers on. Looks like the bike's even clean. Good job there from Henk Scaling. 1 or 2 bugs there, but we'll forgive him for that. Our cameraman. We're going to head down to start of race number 2 any second. Those Bridgestone tyres are now warmed up. And here we go, Dave. Let's see. Graham from Idar said he didn't like the place, made that mistake in race 1. Can he wrap the title up now in race 2?
Well, I think they might have changed quite a lot on the bike between races as well. The wind is a bit of a factor right now. You can see a crosswind coming across the track as we're on board there with the Panaganapathy. The pit crews clear the track and we just wait for the start of this race. Don't forget pole position will be Gareth Bazano. The lights are on, the lights are off, and away we go. From Idar, once again, a great start. He can launch that Kawasaki.
Yeah, he really has got launching that motorcycle to perfection. He's got so many hole shots this year. I don't think he's been bettered actually as throughout the entire season. Dave Enticott from Cape Town, look at that. He's just behind race 1 winner, that Michael Schmidt just ahead of him. So the man from Cape Town, he's clearly loving life here at Red Star Raceway. He's up there in 4th place. Yes, he is in 4th place, just ahead of Johan Leroux and behind Michael Schmidt. So Michael Schmidt looks like he hasn't got the start that he wanted. From Idar, looks like the change of that made to that bike already working because he is out of here.
Looks like he can turn that bike a lot better. Good start also from Teddy Brooks. Sanjeev Singh, we haven't even spoken about him today. With Keith Agliotti has obviously sorted things out on his bike. He's right there at the back of that group.
Into this tricky left hand. It's almost like 5 apexes to this long. Oh, Dave Enticott! I just saw Dave Enticott go down as we go on board you with Henk Scaling. You'll see to the right there is the cloud of dust. The man from Cape Town, commentator's curse. We were singing his praise all the way from Cape Town up into 4th, and he just tucks the front end. You've got to get heat into those tires. Look at Keith Agliotti. They found whatever problem he had on that bike from race 1, and he's now charging. But look at Landy Sinden not wanting to settle for that, and she just takes the long way around the outside, and Ian Harwood is the man at the front of all of it.
Ian Harwood says you have got no chance of passing these brightly coloured leathers at this time of the day.
No chance as we go into the dog bone section for the first time. Graham from Idar is checking out. So Les from Idar gave him a good slap across the ear, sorted that motorbike out, and he's extending that lead now. Michael Schmidt, Gareth Bazano dicing for 2nd and 3rd place. John Ticola down there in what is 5th at the moment behind Johan Leroux.
I wonder if Stewie Christie likes that dog bone section of this track.
Well, he should, being the vet, one of the top vets in the country that he is, as they come onto the Witbank Highway straight for the first time. From Idar, he's checking out Michael Schmidt. This is where he loves it. Yeah, he gets the move done. He can see from Idar is checking out. If he wants to pick up the double for the day, he's got to start doing something now because from Idar is a different rider. I wonder if he likes the track now.
I think he does. This is certainly working this time around. Peter Lubbs puts out the board and says, Graham, you've already got over a 2nd lead. Don't worry about it. We're on board with Dave Enticott. This is a replay of what happened earlier on. The 2nd left-hand corner on the track, cold tyres, down we go. Oh, that's just such a pity because he was having a great run, was Dave Enticott.
Yeah, such a pity. Like I said, it's that kind of 3 apex corner. You've got to run it a bit deep and bring it back. And as he was bringing it back, that Bridgestone front tyre just let go. Got to get heat in those tyres. But Dave Enticott has thrown his name in the hat for a top contender as we go on with this championship. There is Teddy Brook now coming in. Much better start this from him. He's just behind, looks like John T. Collard there. So Teddy Brook with a good start, and he's got Sanjeev Singh on his tail. The man takes a year off racing, decides to drive drive from Durban to Red Star Raceway, and now he's up inside the top 7. Brilliant stuff.
He's only had 2 races in the last year, Sanjeev Singh. Frambadar is streaking away at the front. We'll wait for some lap times coming up on the board shortly, but Frambadar has pulled a second and a half straight away. Besaidnout is keeping Michael Smith honest. And in no man's land right now is Johan LaRue. Jonty Collard being chased hard there by Teddy Brook, and behind them is Sanjeev Singh. Great ride from Sanjeev.
Yeah, a little bit further down, Apanaganapathy not having the weekend that he wanted. Keith Agliotti right there with him. Turns out AJ Fenter measured Keith Agliotti's bike, and his rake angle is completely destroyed. Apparently that bike is bent all kinds of the wrong way around. So that's the problems that Keith's got on that Ridgeway Race Bar bike. Michael Smith now pulling away from Gareth Besaidnout, trying to close down on Frambadar, who, remember, if things stay the way they are, we will have 2020 champion crown, Graham Frambadar, back-to-back titles.
And don't forget, we've got categories within this, classes A, B and C. Frambadar himself is riding in class B, which is an age group thing, and Michael Smith and Gareth Besaidnout are class A riders. Looking at the lap times last time around, pretty close though. Frambadar there 59.5, he's done a 58 here, so I think Frambadar still got a bit in hand as we go through this race. Great shot of Teddy Brook. He's having a wonderful ride on his Kawasaki.
Yeah, he really is. But with the windy conditions picking up, that really does play a massive factor here at Red Star Raceway. It does just push that front end. I wonder if David Endicott also got caught out maybe with a gust of wind, especially in that dogbone section. It really does get tricky to handle these Red Square ZX10 Cup bikes as they come into that dogbone section onto the little short back straight now squared. Frambadar has got this race controlled. Michael Smith in second. Gareth Besaidnout doing everything he can to hold on to the coattails of your race 1 winner. Top 3 look like they are done and dusted. Jonty Collard just looking there. Is he closing ever so slightly? No, Johan LaRue still the foster man there in no man's land in 4th place. Behind him, Teddy Brook doing a brilliant job with Sanjeev Singh. Also, can't sing enough praises about that man.
Keith Agliotti holding on to 8th place, and that'll be 4th in Class A with a bend frame on that motorcycle. Probably turns ever so well around the lefts, but terrible on the rights.
That's exactly what he said. He said at Swartkoop sometimes that bike would handle so beautifully on the brakes, it's quite stable because of the Harley-Davidson type rake angle, but getting it to turn through the Foss section here is a little bit of a trick. Gareth Besaidnout, he's starting just fall off the back there of Michael Smith. Lap time 58.7, so he was the fastest man on the track last time around, but just can't get close enough.
Right to the edge.
Trying to use the highway and all. There's Jacques Ackerman, another man from all the way from Cape Town. Again, one of the most improved riders in this 2020 season.
And he's got Henk Scaling just ahead of him. Let's take a re-look at the start. Henk Scaling, I wonder if he's colourblind, because I didn't see any red lights when he went, that's for sure. I think he just saw green lights.
Look at that for a start. Now he goes into turn 1. Can he hold it all together? Yeah, brilliant start there. He found about 7 or 8 places last lap time now. Frambadar would have got on his pit board that he's got a comfortable, 2-second buffer over Michael Smith, who's just put in his personal best lap of the race, as has Gareth Besaidnout, as has Graham Frambadar. Testament to how good those Bridgestone R11s are. Even in these tricky track conditions, these riders are still putting in really good lap times. But Frambadar looks like that number 1 plate is staying on that Stefanuti stocks bike for another year at least.
Well, he's got about 3.5 Ks to go, and he will be crowned the champion for 2020 in the Red Square ZX10 Masters. Stefanuti stocks bike looks much better this time around. Obviously, Graham himself a lot more confident with the bike. Michael Smith, though, is keeping him honest. If you look at those lap times last round, Michael still thinks, I could possibly do it. He did it the race before. Maybe he's thinking of a similar thing.
Yeah, look at the lean angle that Michael Smith gets out of that ZX10 machine of his. And you spoke about his fitness not being the greatest in race 1, but it's the last lap after 2 races on a race day in the searing heat, fighting that bike in the wind, and here he is closing the gap down on the last lap. This is going to be the fastest lap of the race from Michael Smith, and he's closing down. Frambadar would have got his comfortable 2-second pit board. That is not 2 seconds.
Rob, that's $20 I've just put on the table. I think Michael Smith's going to go for it on that last corner. I really do. As they come up that straight, his bike's fast. It matches Graham Frambadar's in a straight line, no doubt about it. It's all about the drive that he might be able to get. This corner is all important now. Flick it left, then the right. Oh, that might have been a mistake. He ran a bit wide there. You need drive coming out of this turn up onto the back straight.
Yeah,
closes a bit on the brakes.
He was this far back when he made that move in race number 1. I don't think Frambadar is going to let that happen again. Michael Schmidt, look at that foot on the pegs, head over the front of that, trying to get the drive down. Is he going to be close enough? It's going to be a massive effort. Look on the brakes. He's closing 100 meters, 200 meters. He's closing it down. This is going to go right down to the wire. Frambadar doesn't even know he's there. He thinks he's got a comfortable gap. Schmidt runs a little bit wide. That's it, done and dusted.
Oh boy, what a great finish to this race. We've only got one more round in the series to go in Port Elizabeth. Look forward to that one as well at the end of the month. But Graham Frambadar picks up the win there in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. Brilliant ride from him. The Stephanie Stocks man knows he's got the championship wrapped up now for another year. That number 1 plate is always heavy, but this time he managed to mangle it and keep it on the bike.
Graham from Idar, top spot. Then your new champion, Michael Smith, there in second place. Garrett Presender holds down third. John T. Collard, Johan Leroux, Teddy Brooks, Sanjeev Singh in seventh. Brilliant ride. Keith Agliotti up into eighth place despite those problems. But let's catch up with your 2020 champion. It's Graham from Idar.
They showed me +1, but it didn't sound like +1. But the bike was on rails now, so obviously that front or the rim or something was an issue. The bike was so much easier to ride now. And yeah, massive thanks. We've actually wrapped up the championship here. And it's my first win ever at Red Star. I either have mechanical issues or I fall off. So after riding for 400 years, at least I've won it at this circuit. So it's a good thing. And massive thanks to Stefanucci Stocks and Eco Chains and Motor Oils. Thanks, guys. And to my dad and to Peter for faultless bike, fixing it. Thank you.
Rider of the day has to go to the man all the way from Cape Town. It's Jacques Ackerman.
I was really struggling. I put my head down, try to focus on the guys in front of me, try to get a good start to get ahead of the faster guys. And I tagged on and just tried to push. So yeah, thanks to all the help, thanks to Red Square, thanks to Kawasaki. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well done, Jacques. As we go down to the TRP podium, beautiful trophies this weekend sponsored by Taisika. And there is all our category winners, A, B, and C. Let's have a look now at the championship standings. Graham from Idar out front in Class B. Michael Smith leads Class A. Importantly, Johan Leroux out in Class C as well. And he's down there in 6th overall in the championship. So brilliant stuff there from one of the elder statesmen. Remember, join us at the final round of the season down at Aldous Grabunty in Port Elizabeth on the 31st of October. All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation.